In GNCC, they come close, but they can't stop Chris Boric. Now back into the woods for the last time. McGill is right there. Great racing down the stretch. Too little, too late. Checkered flag is out. Chris Boric wins again. The champ goes for another win today on Racer TV. We've got an all-new racetrack greeting round 5 of the 2012 Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series. It's the Can-Am Mammoth GNCC from Kentucky. Amateur and utility riders already out on the racetrack right now, getting their runs in, and they've learned this track has ups and downs, great soil, some rocks, and some technical sections, as you'll see here. Our pro riders are about ready to go racing. They're pretty relaxed down in the pits right now, but soon it'll be nothing but serious business. There's Chris Bithell on the factory Can-Am grooming his tires. Brian Wolf's crew doing the same thing. They're trying to dial in a little extra traction. And it's very serious business over at the Balance Racing Yamaha pits. That's where the number 5 of Walker Fowler runs. Multi-time champion on both ATVs and bikes in the youth and amateur ranks. A lot of hype based around his move to the pro class for 2012. Let's get to know the kid from Ohio.
Yeah, there was a lot of media hype about me moving up to the XC1 class, and I do feel like there was some pressure on me at the beginning of the year. I just to have a perfect season last year in Pro-Am, and then and actually have 2 overalls, beating Chris and beating Adam and beating Taylor, the best of the best. I think there was some pressure on me to go out and perform above what I thought I could. And this year I haven't really proven myself yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. In Georgia, I did get to ride with Chris all the way to like the last 8th mile, and that was really fun. We raced each other clean, we raced fast, we pretty much pulled away from everybody, and then, I had an issue, I ended up having to push to the finish line, still salvaging a 3rd, but, it was a huge confidence booster for me to know I was there, and, he made some mistakes, and, I was just riding awesome, and, I knew I was that close, and it would have came down to the last few corners, but I didn't get the chance. So, I'd love to do, a repeat of that race and actually get the finish I know I can get.
And here's the man that Walker Fowler and everyone else is aiming for, Chris Boric. Adam McGill gave him quite a run here, the number 2 at our last race. McGill always has a good time at these rounds. There's Brian Wolf bringing the family down to the starting line on the JG Off-Road Honda. And there's the 19-year-old Fowler with his dad Danny on the left, grooming up his starting area. It's the way it works at GNCC. We'll fire the engines up, get the machines warmed up, and then we'll shut them down, and everyone starts with a dead engine. Now, Fowler did win 2 of these races on adjusted time from the 2nd row last year. That's part of the story. The big deal is to try to take down the likes of Chris Boric in a straight-up wheel-to-wheel battle. Will today be the day in the backyard of his Balance Racing Yamaha team here in Kentucky? Let's find out. And they're bumping and banging into the first turn. That is McGill up over the wheels. I believe that was Taylor Kaiser who he tangled up with, and look who grabs the whole shot. Fowler did not have a great jump off the line, but he took advantage of the carnage in turn 1, and he's out to a $250 motorsport.com payday by grabbing that whole shot. And how about Brian Cook on the black quad right there, the number 9, going after Fowler. Good to see Cook, one of the veterans, back in action. Not racing the full schedule this year, but he's got speed, and he can run with these guys. He's won a bunch of GNCCs in his time. It looks like Kaiser, Jared McClure, and McGill are back up front. So McGill and Kaiser not much lost despite running over each other in the first turn. Let's see how Fowler plays it in the number 1 spot. There's Boric trying to make moves on that Yoshimura Suzuki. We've seen bad starts out of Boric before, not a problem. You would think on a track like this you couldn't make passes, but somehow the guy from Pennsylvania can always figure it out, and look, he already has. He is now up behind McGill and in front of the 7 of McClure. And Chris Bithell on the other yellow machine, the Can-Am number 4, he is also notorious for getting those bad starts. We've seen he and his Pennsylvania neighbor Borich hook up many times and come through traffic. We'll see if they can do it today. The riders aren't going to know a lot of the lines out here. We've never raced here in Park City, Kentucky. So far, though, the Balance Racing Yamaha team out front, Fowler and Kaiser. If you watched our last show, they were also leading the race early there, and they ran into mechanical troubles at the exact same time. The ECU that controls the fuel injection and the ignition apparently shut those machines down. And there are just so many things to learn in GNCC racing, not just performance, see how gnarly these conditions are. It's sometimes just about survival and getting those machines to the finish line and making them reliable enough to get there. Oh, Cook gets hung up in those FMF banners, and now McGill tries to get by, but he's hung up on a rock. And you can see a lot of this is what they call virgin terrain. A lot of trees and leaves down on these rocks, so they can't really see them. They don't know how much ground clearance they really need or have. Fowler handling it no problem. He's got his teammate Kaiser in tow. This section deep and off camber. Camber doesn't really give you an angle for how steep this section is and how hard it is to keep the machine up on top of the racetrack. Fowler opening it back up. He has a great style to watch. When it comes to natural talent, we may not have ever seen someone come through the ranks quite like this. He raced youth ATVs at the local level before we even had a youth GNCC series, and he and his parents would come to the races, they'd bring their quad and say, look at this thing, it's capable, Walker's capable, let us race. We actually ran an exhibition youth ATV race, I believe about 8 years ago. Walker was only 10 years old at the time. He ran an exhibition, he won it. He dominated youth ATV racing, he dominated the amateur ranks, and now he's trying to win his first race as a pro.
The Can-Am Renegade 1000 XXC with the most powerful engine in the industry. The Outlander 1000 XT with a redesigned chassis for unequal trail riding. The Commander 1000 Limited, the most equipped, luxurious side-by-side in the industry. The facts say it's the most advanced lineup out there. But the ride says it all.
Brought to you by Can-Am, by Amsoil, and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. We're into the rock garden here at the Can-Am Mammoth GNCC. Walker Fowler leading the way through one of the most technical sections we have seen so far this season. His teammate Taylor Kaiser in second. The Balance Racing Yamaha team owned and operated by 9-time GNCC champ Bill Balance. Here's Adam McGill, privateer on the Precision Moto Experts Honda, and Chris Borich on his Yoshimura Suzuki coming through next. Jared McClure, back by the National Guard and ATVRiders.com, getting faster every week, and he's in contention. What happened there? Looked like Fowler was going to chuck the goggles and get a new set and decided not to. He's going to keep on trucking. Good news for him. Not much mud out there on the course today, so vision not quite as big an issue as it has been lately. We've got another rider up in the lead group. Chris Bithell on the Can-Am has caught up to the rear wheels of Borich as they head away from the pits and back into the woods. Since this is a track they have not raced on before, you have to wonder where the good lines are. And you have to be careful also. Those rocks, if you get knocked offline and hit one of those trees, even the smaller ones, they do not move, and you can do a lot of damage to the equipment. As we said at the top of the show, often in GNCC, it's as much a matter of getting the machine to the finish as it is getting to the finish fast. Fowler doing a good job right there, actually blasting over some of the smaller saplings, keeping that thing in one piece. Some pressure, though, being applied by his teammate. Kind of a yo-yo battle right now, as they say, between the leaders. Kaiser will make up a little bit of ground, then he'll lose it, he'll stretch back out, it'll get closer again. And these guys are determined. This Yamaha 450 was partially developed in GNCC competition by Bill Balance. They've made some frame changes to the previous generation machine, prototyped it, raced it, put it into production. That's how badly Yamaha wants to get this championship again. They haven't won it in the last 3 years. It has been all Chris Boric on that Yoshimura Suzuki. But they've got two young guns in competition here with Kaiser and Fowler. They want this win bad. Don't forget about McGill on the Honda. And you'll probably see Bithell catch back up on the Can-Am too. Oh, now we're into the thick of lap traffic. You'd think these sections are difficult to tackle alone. It's even worse when you've got amateur riders who are stuck in some of the main lines. And we've got a change up. It looks like McGill has gone into the lead in front of Fowler. So let's reset things here. Here comes Boric through in the number 3 spot, and there is Kaiser. So it looked like the Yamaha's day early on, but you know in GNCC racing it's going to get mixed up, and we're changing it again. Fowler has retaken the lead, and now it's Boric up to the number 2 spot and putting the pressure on. Well, the action's coming hot and heavy now. You got to stay with us. There's McGill in 3rd. Kaiser not far behind in 4th.
When it's time to get ready to ride and you need gear, it's time to go to RockyMountainATV.com. With the largest selection of ATV parts, apparel, and accessories, we have what you need at deep discounts. We have a huge state-of-the-art facility that ensures your order ships out quickly with accuracy that's second to none. Most items ship free and arrive at your door in 3 days or less. Visit our industry-leading website, RockyMountainATV.com today for the best prices, quickest shipping, online support, and largest in-stock selection around. RockyMountainATV.com. Get ready.
Racer TD is brought to you by Can-Am, by Amsoil, and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Let's give you the highlights of the Can-Am morning race here at the Mammoth Grand National Cross Country event. Off the line here, the 4x4 open class. It's Brian Buchanan in the red helmet, just edging out Michael Swift and Andrew Langston for the open class hole shot. Up to 850 cc's unleashed here in the woods. There's the 990 of Zach Sikowski, also battling for the lead. They have great racing in this class. Today, Buchanan able to edge Michael Swift by 12 seconds after nearly 2 hours of racing. Those guys are always banging bars. Utility Unlimited class is for 4x4 machines that come from the factory without racks on them. And the man who's been dominating that class for the last couple of years is Cliff Beasley. But it's pretty cool when they hook up with some of the sport quads and some of the traditional 4x4 machines, and we see them tackle the same obstacles at the same time. Looks like Robert Smith has gotten the lead over Beasley early in this one, then Beasley able to get it back. Jordan Phillips also in the hunt in the Unlimited division. But ultimately on this day, it would be Beasley taking another Unlimited win. Other rider to watch right here, the 201. This guy is practically unstoppable. The dominator of the 50-plus class, Dave Simmons. He sure doesn't ride like a 50-plus-year-old rider. And he's going to take the morning race overall win. Tracy Checo takes 2nd overall, wins the women's class. Here's your 4x4 podium. Buchanan in the middle, Swift on the left, and Kevin Trantham, 3rd overall in the 4x4, winning the lights class for machines up to 500 cc. Now back to our afternoon race with our pro riders. Walker Fowler in the lead, still has Chris Boric all over him. Now Boric often waits too late in the race to make the passes. Doesn't look like he wants to rate today. He wants to get around Fowler before they get in the woods. Does he have something picked out here in the field section? Gonna go to the inside, Fowler on the outside. Fowler able to slam the door despite lap traffic being in the way. Great race developing here in the pits. Fowler's got to pull in for a gas stop. I would guess that Boric is doing the same thing as defending champ. He's all the way at the end of the line. There goes Fowler. Boric still fueling up. So Yamaha gets their man in and out of the pits quickly, and the same thing for Kaiser, who came in behind McGill. Now he's up to 3rd. And Fowler able to distance himself just a bit, but when we get to this tight technical stuff, it's going to change again, and we have a new leader. Adam McGill was 4th, now into the number 1 spot for the 2nd time today, and that's what makes GNCC racing so fun to watch. It just keeps on changing. So it's McGill, Fowler, Boric, and Kaiser. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think the number 7, the National Guard machine, as McGill gives the high sign to our cameraman. He's always fun to watch. I believe that number 7 of Jared McClure is climbed up to contention as well. we'll keep an eye out for him. He's not too far back from this group. So McGill running the point position, been doing a lot of work on his machine, dialing it in. Hasn't ridden a Honda the last couple of years. Definitely struggled with suspension setup early on, but certainly has it dialed in today. We also hear we've lost Brian Wolf from this group. He had an infection in his hand the last couple of weeks. It has flared back up, so he's dropped off the pace. It's going to come down to one of these guys, and what a race we have. Fowler now back into the lead as we go uphill. McGill, Boric, Kaiser, and there's that number 7 of McClure right there. And this is what GNCC racing is all about. Lots of passing, lots of action, and a great track. Does this trail not make you want to get out there on your ATV and hit it hard? Perfect soil, a little bit of rocks and some technical sections to slow it down, but nothing too undulating. This is a great racetrack. And it looks like Fowler's starting to feel the flow here, pulling away a bit. They've got a little gap built up, he and McGill on Boric. There's Kaiser, and here is McClure. These guys have really upped the pace now that they know the lines of the racetrack. Through the pits, and this time Fowler doesn't have to stop. It's all systems go for the Balance Racing Yamaha. Now Boric up to second is going to have to try to run him down, but that's the champ specialty. Stay with us.
Any engine. Any season. At home. At the track. Or on the trail. AMSOIL, the first in synthetics.
Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, by AMSOIL, and by Rocky Mountain ATVMC. White flag about to come out here. Walker Fowler with Chris Boric all over him. A great Grand National cross-country battle. And it's the one everyone wanted to see. You can tell the fans are at the fences going crazy for this one. You've got Fowler, the 19-year-old rookie to this class, with an unrivaled youth and amateur GNCC pedigree. And he's taking on the star of the day, the 3-time and defending champion Chris Boric. Is it a one-on-one battle? Can someone else get in here? The way Fowler wheelies out of that corner, you've got to wonder if anyone's fast enough to close in. But I think Taylor Kaiser is doing that in third. He is right there in this one. And if these two tangle, Kaiser can definitely take advantage. He got a win earlier this year. Here's Boric trying to work over Fowler. He goes to the outside. He was on the inside the last time around. The outside's going to work. And Chris Boric into the lead on the last lap again. Oh, but not for long. Fowler able to get Boric back. There's Kaiser in third, just sitting back there watching it. And you've got to wonder, do they have lines figured out? Do they have passing spots in the woods that they were saving until the last lap? Well, Fowler sure hopes not. He's going to try to run with the lead all the way to the end. Boric, we know he's more comfortable often in second, and then he'll strike in the final mile or two. It's going to be an endurance contest at this point. Nearly 2 hours into this race, 4 3/4 laps completed. Who's got the fitness and who's willing to dig down deep when you get tired? Because there's no doubt about it. Some level of fatigue is going to set in this late in the game. Boric, though, is usually able to stay so relaxed and so mentally strong in those situations. Look at this, top speed through this section. Now hard on the brakes, and Boric putting the pressure on Fowler. Gonna try to bait the kid into a mistake. Boric working the inside line. He's got a wheel on him. It's like road racing as they dive to the inside. And Fowler still able to hold him off. It's a battle of horsepower as well as will into these corners. Now on the outside, Boric's gonna try to get a run, and he makes the pass. Once again, Chris Boric makes the move late in the race. That is his trademark. It's the patented Chris Boric charge. But you know Fowler is not happy about it, and he tries to come back. He tries to work him inside to outside. Now on the inside again, and Boric just able to edge the kid. Almost bumping wheels as they come into that corner. The fans are loving it. Fowler going to try to give him a look. Borch is so good at keeping the quad wide once he gets the lead late. Fowler's going to have to find something special. He goes to the inside. Can't make it work. Gets up on 2 wheels. Only about 3 corners left in this one. Listen to the fans, they are going crazy as Borch can almost see the checkered flag. Fowler again and gets sideways. That might be the difference. It is. Chris Borch is going to win the Mammoth GNCC. Fowler right there in second, and a great run by Taylor Kaiser for third. And you can see Fowler gave it everything he had. He is exhausted. Chris Borch is happy. Let's take you through the Rocky Mountain ATV MC replay of this one. Borch takes the long way around. You're not supposed to be able to make passes that way, but look at how aggressive. See how much roost is coming off of his front tires. That's what it takes to hook up and win races like this. There's your AMSOIL results. McGill, some bad luck, dropped out, mechanical problems. Good run for Brian Cook in fifth.
Last lap, me and Fowler were just having a good old time out there, battling back and forth, and I was right on him there, I don't know, probably a mile before the finish. He stalled it. I could have got him around him there, but I let him start back up, give him a couple bumps to try to start it. And then right here in the field sections, right before the finish, I was able to square him up, get by him, and hold on to the win.
Oh, a little gamesmanship there from Borch. He wanted to do it straight up, and he did in his trademark fashion. Let's catch back up to Walker Fowler.
That last lap was just insane. You know, got the whole shot, led the whole race, and he actually got me right at the end before the white flag. Passed him back, and I just knew I had to hold him off. He got up next to me right before the start section, held him off. I took away all his lines that I could think of, and I think that was every line humanly possible to find on the track. I took it away from him, and I got right to the end. Just his last field section. Made it happen until about 3 corners before the finish, and that's where he gets you. He's really good at it, and that's the reason he's a 3-time champ, but I know here soon I'm going to get him.
Give you the Can-Am race recap. Yeah, Fowler was on fire right from the start today. Led the majority of this one, blazing new trail on this new event on the tour. Had his teammate Taylor Kaiser with him for most of the race, but soon those two would have pressure from others. Adam McGill would get into the lead. Chris Borch was back there stalking them. We saw an appearance from Chris Bithell and also the number 7 of Jared McClure. But in the last lap, it would come down to Fowler versus Borch. That's the battle that everyone wanted to see. The star of the future versus the champion of the present day. And it looked like Fowler might have the stuff to hold him off, just like he said. He had all the lines covered until Borch pulled this one out of his pocket. You're not supposed to be able to pass on the outside. That's what champions do. Another win for Chris Borch, another great race. Congratulations to him. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wigan. Thanks for watching.